Well, getting into and out of downtown right now is tough, especially coming from West Edmonton. There are 4 different projects disrupting traffic right now. There's LRT work on 104 Ave, revitalization on 107. There's the Imagine Jasper Avenue work, the Warehouse Park project, construction on 106th Street. Joining us this morning is Craig Walbaum with the city's Integrated Infrastructure Services, also the acting deputy city manager. Craig, thanks so much for being here. There's a lot going on, especially downtown. Why is all that happening at once?
Yeah, thanks for the question, and thanks for having me here today, Kent. Yeah, so when we look at timing of all of our projects, obviously there's a number of factors that come in. So one of the big ones is the condition of our assets. So a lot of the projects like Jasper Avenue and 107 are really founded in the condition of those roads and the timing around when we need to replace them and redo them. So that's one. And then with LRT, that's a combination of opportunity of other levels of government funding and needing to meet those timelines of getting the projects done. So it's a combination of all those effects that lead us to where we are today.
Okay, so I get the LRT work. That's a big project that needs to keep going, and revitalization. But what about Imagine Jasper? That's for the most part like a beautification type thing. Does that need to be happening along with all these other projects?
Right, yeah, so Jasper Avenue actually was founded on its condition and needing to be renewed. And because it's such a key corridor for our downtown, we layered in not just the base renewal of it, but we looked at enhancing it. So it's a combination of both of those things of how the timing came up. And there's actually other federal government funding that goes along with that has timing with it too. What's
your message to people who are trying to get in and out of downtown? And it seems like every route they try to take, they run into more cones and more construction.
Right, yeah, I think there's a couple of key messages with that. We know, especially from the West End into downtown, there's a lot of those corridors that have either restrictions or partial closures. So it's really plan ahead if you can. We have a lot of maps on our city website, right from our building.edmonton.ca, which shows you status of projects to our traffic disruptions. And Google as well, and your nav systems in your vehicles are actually very good on real time and knowing what disruptions are. So we do a lot of combinations of things to help people plan and kind of those corridors. Another thing I should say, though, is that we actually, before we start all of this and decide how much the system can handle of those restrictions, we have a very robust traffic model that actually is all the major roads in the city. And we do a cursory analysis before we even start thinking about what we think the system can handle for all the roads.
So how much flexibility is there? Is there flexibility if, say, things exceed the models more than you expected to try to make a shift?
Yeah, for sure. So beyond the models, that tells us what we think we can try and accomplish. Then there's detailed plans that go on with each project to look at how are we going to stage and phase, what lanes will we keep open, when can we close them. 107 Avenue is an example. We leave 2 lanes open in the peak times. It's only in the off-peaks that we restrict lanes to get the work done.
And how close are we to getting some of these done?
That'll vary. Jasper Avenue, actually, we're maintaining 1 lane. That's going to be a 3-year project that's happening in chunks of it.
Yep.
The LRT is actually a few years away. 2028 is our plan for the west to be done construction. And 107 Avenue will be done this year.
Okay. And this is, of course, all to accommodate growth, to make the city more accessible. Is it tricky sometimes to get people to see that far into the future when they have big orange roadblocks in their face right now?
It is, for sure. I mean, there's 2 things that are the reality, even for me, as I drive from the West End into downtown. What your commute's like today is what's the strongest in terms of impression of what's going on today. But we have to remember that what we're doing is building an LRT system right from the West End into the downtown, so there's more choices. So you can either choose to use your vehicle if you need to, but you don't have to if you can use that LRT. So it really is short-term restrictions now for some of those corridors for a better future and options.
Okay. Well, we certainly appreciate your insight. We know a lot of planning goes into this, and there is information available. As Craig mentioned, you can find out detailed outlines of the city projects by visiting edmonton.ca.